So let me first add these roof tiles, okay, which we see in image reference here. So what I'm going to do is press Shift A, add a plane, which is easy to start with. And I select these two, Shift S, move through the cursor right there, and set origin to through the cursor. So when I just rotate or scale that, it will scale based on that part, not at the center. Okay, which is really helpful. Press Tab again, I add 3 loop cut right here. Okay, and I select this middle and S by turn on the proportional editing, G, Z, and scroll up just a little bit so that we can see, and a little bit towards this direction. Okay, and as well we need to scale those. So scale that in x-axis so that we can see things like tile. Okay, roof tile. Now I want to take a duplication of this one, or we can do that later. Okay, so let's yeah, so here is too big. Here we have it. Look at from this side and rotate it if we want, or let's have a duplication here and we can work on that. So let's apply a solid way modifier on top of this guy, on top of this one. Around maybe here should be fine, and then we can scale those. So it's yeah, we can scale it too much or less. It's up to you. I decided to move these guys even back. Okay, like so. Or even we can delete some of these to keep things a little bit low poly. Okay, so now it's time for working on this guy. R, as you can see, because we set the origin point there, it's really easy to work with. So I play around with the thickness a little bit more, and maybe we can even scale it just a little bit more. Okay, and okay, so let's scale it even more and maybe push that around here. Okay, and look at from the top, maybe Shift D, another duplication, and we can move those G and move those here. Okay, and we can play around with this guy, maybe can move those here, and yeah, play around with some of these. So make sure to be in orthographic mode if you want. So let's move these to just a little bit. Maybe select these guys. Even on top of these, we can add the bevel so that it gives a little bit of bevel around that, and will create a really nice effect. Okay, that's about it. And even we can scale some of those. Okay, so that some of those is shorter, and some of those is a bit longer than the other. Maybe around here should be fine. Shift D and move that here. Maybe we can play around with these guys, G, Z. Okay, scale even in so if you press S and Y, actually I'm scaling in Y, not global but along a local Y. So I can play around with that, and I can Shift again and move that in X direction. Here should be fine. Okay, and I can scale that even more than the other. So let's look at from this angle. I want to rotate it in this direction, maybe this one as well. So let's rotate it so that this not actually, if we keep on organization, okay, it's going to be much cooler, I think. Okay, so when things is disorder in this case, it's going to be much better. Even we can move this guy and this one here, and maybe we can add another in between those. Shift D, take another duplication, and then we can play around with this guy. Shift D. So let's select both. Shift D, G, and push them here. Maybe this one. We select everything. G and around here. Maybe this one. Scale that a little bit more. Okay, very, very, very cool. So let's select this SY 2 times, and wow, it is interesting. SY, maybe G and Y, maybe that like so. Okay, guys. So always look at the image reference that you get, which is really important. So I'm trying to keep some of these, okay, without applying the bevel modifier. So now I want to cut through this, because we see some cut here, cut at bit with tiles. So I press K, okay, so that I can activate my knife, and maybe I can select it from here to here, and here, and again, and press Enter when we are done. Press 3 for face, X, and delete that face. Okay, so we create these cool things, and we can apply the bevel. Okay, and look at from here, we may need to select some of these parts. We may need to play around with those, and maybe scale even those, like so. Okay, maybe G and move those like so. G, move those like so. Okay, move that like so, which is really nice. Okay, maybe we can work on the chimney a little bit more, because we see the chimney stick right here, which is really nice. Okay, so let's select all of these and look at from the side and Shift D. Okay, and we might select those right here. It's best to set those close to this guy, but we are going to fix some of those later. So for now, let's just select those, and we can play around with some of these parts. Maybe I delete these and move this one towards here. Okay, maybe this guy, yeah, as well, towards here. So let's look at it from the top. Okay, and we select maybe this part, and even we can add another loop cut here, and we just can play around with this GG if we want. Okay, something like this. And we can play around with these guys. Okay. Even another loop cut, so we can press G and move these like so, and yeah, R, maybe an X, and GZ. Okay, not too much cool, but it creates a little bit of interest to our work. Maybe now it's much better. So you have to play around with those to see which is going to be much better. Okay, so this one I want to change it a little bit so that it doesn't look like that one which we had. Maybe scale it even in this direction. Maybe I select all of these, or select it from here, and yeah, so I just select everything, scale those, push them here. Maybe this guy, and this time going to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so very cool. And okay, so I select all of these and look at from here, Shift D, and copy those. You can focus on these, or let us even select this part. Okay, and yeah, move those here in X-axis. So we might need to scale some of these to a really small amount and create sort of feather them back. Okay. So let's select this one. Maybe we can work on this guy a little bit more. Much better, I think. Even we can move that a little bit upward. So now let's take a look. So here we need to maybe work. Okay. So I grab all of those and I might move those towards this way. Okay, maybe here. And look at from this angle. Okay, so anyway, I can work on this part a little bit more. So I can select all of these parts and G, turn off the proportionality G, maybe create something like this. Okay, but this is not cool. So how can we fix some of these issues which we get here? So we can select this part as well. So we need to do the same thing for here. Select both and press tab. G, move those outside. And G, move those towards this direction. Okay guys, so here is not to actually close, so we need to work on some of these so that we can make those really close. Maybe we can change some of place for these guys. Maybe this one with this. Let's scale those even. And G and push that here. So we look at from this angle. So first I fix its place and then this one. Okay. And then I play around with this guy a bit more. Maybe here. Let's move this. Okay. G and we push those down a little bit. Okay. Or maybe GG and move those here. So let's take a look here as well, and I think it's really good. So we need to think about here. Okay, and how to actually create and fill this area. Okay, so actually I think we can work on the rotation of these parts. Okay, maybe first going to be something like this, and then rotate it so that it actually fits that area. Okay, and then we need to select this area and let us rotate that first, and we move those under here. Okay, and rotate just a bit like so, and we select all of these, R for rotation, and now it's much better. Okay guys, so we can even scale this one and this guy a little bit more, and even R and X. Okay, maybe this one's it. RY. Okay friends, so that's about it, and we can take a duplication of all of these and just push them the other side and select this one. Okay, and Shift D, set this one to maybe bounding box. So we take a duplication, Shift D, R, Z 180 degrees, and just move those in X and Y axis just a little bit, and maybe here. It's going to be really good. Okay, so even we can delete this guy, we don't need that anymore. Okay, and now maybe for here we need to play around with some of these parts. Maybe this one, we can take that, scale that, maybe scale it, S for scale, GZ. Okay guys, and even this, all of these we can select and press G and move those. Okay, so that's about it. So see you in the next video, guys.